Friday night in Columbia, South Carolina had a big fifth inning. It broke open a tight ball game. What a contest it was for their first baseman, Alex Destino. He went 5 for 5 and drove home 4 runs in the eventual 8-1 victory. And they got another great start out of righty Clark Schmidt. 8 strong innings and 9 strikeouts in registering the triumph. On Saturday at Floor Field in Greenville, Clemson jumped out to the early lead, and that's all that Clark's older brother, Clay Schmidt, as well as Pat Krall out of the bullpen needed, and helping the Tigers even up the series. Clay Schmidt, in fact, held a potent South Carolina lineup hitless through the first 5 innings, and the Tigers rolled on to the 5-0 victory in downtown Greenville. And so today, it's the rubber match between the Tigers and Gamecocks. It's one of the nation's best collegiate rivalries, and Game 3 is coming up here in Clemson, South Carolina. What a day we have at the recently enhanced Doug Kingsmore Stadium here in Clemson, South Carolina. Today, the third game to close out the annual series between the rivals, USC and Clemson. Hi, everybody, and welcome aboard with Marty Clary, Pete Hannity with you. And really, what more could we ask? A winner-take-all showdown between these rivals today.
Yeah, 2 storied programs, 2 heavyweights battling to the very end, and we get to see how it concludes.
Now, before we look at the ball game today, let's look back on the starting pitching we've seen so far on both sides by a couple of brothers. And in the storied history of this series, no brothers have ever each won the Bob Bradley and Tom Price Awards as the most outstanding players in the series, but these guys are on track to do just that.
Look at the numbers. Both of them pitched fantastic in their respective games, and either one and both could win.
As for the ball game today, a couple of guys to watch in either lineup. One of them would be the fellow we just talked about, Alex Destino. He's one of many in the South Carolina who's really been squaring up the ball so far this season.
Yeah, he does more than just hit and field. He's a leader. He helps that team come together and be successful as a tight unit and full of chemistry.
Now on the Clemson side, well, they moved Chase Pinder from the infield to center field this year. Monty Lee, as head coach, says that has worked out just great, and he's come up with a very good bat at the top of his lineup as well.
Again, great leadership qualities that gives up one position to take another. If that means the team will be better, and they are better, we'll see how that turns out this week.
As for the starting pitchers in the ball game today, South Carolina goes with Taylor Widener. He's been a weekend guy for them so far, and he can bring it, but fastball command is a very big thing for him, according to his head coach.
Yeah, good fastball, but most important, he knows how to put it inside, outside, up, down. That keeps the hitter off balance that you have to have when you do higher level competition.
Counters with Alex Eubanks, making his first career start ever, but he's been very efficient so far out of the bullpen for the Tigers.
Yeah, 12 strikeouts, only 1 walk. Again, a guy who's got great command, so important against good hitters.
When we come back, our first pitch, Game 3, the rubber match of this showdown between the Tigers and Gamecocks, and it's coming up after this.
Mr. President.
6,272 seats are filled, and we see many folks standing. And boy, what a beautiful further upgrade they have made to this ballpark over the last year. To Wilson once again. He began the inning with a toss out to first, and he closes it out by recording the 4-3 putout on Don Thompson Williams. Gamecocks get a couple on, but nothing doing. Half an inning in the books. South Carolina nothing, and Clemson coming to bat. Eubanks 0-2 pitch. Did he go? He did. Strikeout number 2 in the game for the Clemson starter. And that time you see, even though Eubanks doesn't get it up there fastball wise, it's again knowing when to throw that kind of pitch.
Well, yeah, I mean, he hammered the strike zone with 2 fastballs early, and then that curveball looked like a fastball, just didn't. Ended up more in the plate, couldn't hold up.
Break on top here. Early on, little looper into left field. That's a base hit. Bryant had a chance, couldn't pull it in. Renwick will be waved home. Here comes the throw, and the Tigers have the 1-0 lead. Boy, that was right off the fist, and ending up down at second base, Chase Pinder.
You know, he came inside hard. It was a little bit high.
And he gets into one. Left center field. It's going to get down. He's their best gap hitter. Another run will score. Roman slides into second with an RBI double, and it's 2-0 Tigers.
So Coach Lee needs to get a little credit here. The defense of the last inning, he moved the guy deep into from second into almost right field. Great play stops an inning from continuing, and then starts with the bunt. Some may argue he shouldn't have, and you know, Clemson hitters have responded to his direction.
Rollman on the season with his 9th run batted in, and that's his 5th double. And usually it's the pitcher telling the story.
Well,
in this case, this one's in the air to right center field. On his horse is Pinder, and he will catch up to it. Runner will tag and score the first run of the game for South Carolina. So a sacrifice fly for Cone as Thompson Williams comes home and cuts the Tigers' lead in half.
Gotta understand it.
And Scott wanted that one, but the count goes full. It was just 1 out, and men in scoring position here in the Tigers' 4th, trying to build on this 2-1 lead.
That's a really good pitch. You know, he didn't get it, but that was a great pitch by Scott.
I would suppose home plate umpire A.J. Lostaglio may just be hearing a little chirping off to his left from that South Carolina dugout. After that was called a ball. 3-2 pitch. Little looper into right field. It'll get down for a base hit. 1 run scores. They'll wave the other. And Cox, a 2-run single, and there you go. The Tiger Jr. from Anderson County coming through and building the lead to 4-1.
As a former pitcher, I've seen that happen to me so many times.
To Destino back in the first with 2 men out. This time, little chopper on the left side could be tough. Renwick charges, gloves, throws, and he got him. Nice play at third by the Tigers, Adam Renwick. Eubanks, the pitcher, has to appreciate that, and the Tigers able to get through the inning unscathed. Renwick in one motion, recording the out as he gets Jones at first. Middle of the 5th inning here at Doug Kingsmore Stadium, a 4-1 Clemson advantage.